And it's an energy. When you're comfortable with yourself and you know who you are, you're free. You're not going to look outside of yourself. You're not going to look at your appearance as much. I mean, of course, it's good to take care of yourself, but that's not who what your value relies on.
This is Chocolate and Coffee Break, a compassionate proposition, a space to share stories, bridge divides, and spark meaningful connections. So grab your chocolate, pour your cuppa, and let's break down barriers, one conversation at a time. And now, here's your host, Andrea Pudding.
And welcome to Chocolate and Coffee Break. It's always a pleasure to have you here with me. So today's guest is someone who is very special because of not just because of the work that she does in the world, but because I had the privilege of publishing her book. So Shvita Kotac is the author of Seven Wonders of Menopause. So don't freak, our conversation today isn't medical about what to do for this, that, or the other thing. It's about the power, culture, and identity, and what really happens when women reach, how we say, a certain age. Shavita, I'm really glad to be sharing today with you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Andrea. It's such a pleasure to be here.
So, Shavita, I love to start my conversations with a heart opening question from my little pack.
Yeah.
And today's question is, what's a belief you've outgrown and what replaced it?
Oh, I have outgrown that life declines as you get older. I've actually come to realize it gets better, much, much better, and it frees you.
I agree with you 100%. I find that it's like, oh, some people say they're having this birthday, and I go, oh, awesome, because they're kind of going decline.
Mm.
And I just think it's wonderful. We just come into this amazing stage of life that empowers and gives us a new sense of being. And so,
Absolutely. It actually frees you because when I was in my mid 40s and you're still holding on to your youth and you're believing the doom and gloom about aging, but when you finally settle into it, it becomes freeing because you're not in that cage of aging anymore. You've changed your mindset to believe that finally I can be the woman I was born to be.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, this is good opening to our conversation today. So, I'd love for you to share what was your experience that led you to write this amazing book?
Yes. So what happened to me is when I was in my mid 40s. I had two children under five, and I was entering menopause. And all I heard with menopause and aging was doom and gloom. And it didn't sit comfortable with me. And I believed it for a while until I went away and had some time out for myself because I was busy with life and exhausted. And, that's part of the process as well. I think a lot of women get exhausted and they feel so tired, they start questioning their lives. It's like, I can't carry on like I used to in my 20s and 30s. And I came across a woman called Dr. Christiane Northrup. And she said in a podcast, menopause is a time when a woman becomes who she's meant to be unapologetically and shouts it out aloud. And I thought, that's the woman I want to be. So I researched amazing women around the world. And 10 years later, I woke up after having a dream that I've got to write a book and I've got to write a book about menopause. And then I wrote Seven Wonders of Menopause. So I reached out to all these amazing women that I learned from, and seven of them, well, six of them, one of them is me, that put the book together. And I asked them, would they like to be part of this conversation? And I had the privilege of interviewing some amazing women.
And they are amazing. So, some of these women are just total powerhouses. And I would love to just delve just deeply just quickly into who they are and why you chose them, because like I said earlier, it's not about it's not a medical book at all. It doesn't tell
No.
you what vitamins to take and what to do for your hot flushes and things like that. But it's it's just an amazing collection of wisdom.
Yes, there's 450 years of wisdom accumulated in that book. The first lady in the book is Dr. Gladys McGarry, and she was 103 when I interviewed her. So, of course, I'm going to go to these oracle women, these crones, to ask them about their lives, because their lives were vibrant right to the end. Dr. Gladys was on social media sharing her wisdom from her book, A Well-Lived Life, right until she was 103. So, and she lived from love. She had a whole lifetime of experiences. She was the founder of the Holistic Medical Association in America in 1978. So, of course I was going to ask her. And then Dr. Ibu Robin Lim is a midwife that practices lotus births and helps doula training in Indonesia. Of course, Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Vandana Shiva, Alexandra Pope, who talks about menstrual cycle awareness. And all of these women, they all had a wonderful life after menopause. So that's what attracted me to them.
Yeah. And like I said, it truly is an incredible collection of wisdom that I think women of all ages should read it. When I was because I published it and then I sat down to actually read it and devour what it had in it. And I thought, my daughter needs to read this.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think she's anywhere near menopause, but she needs to read and absorb the wisdom of these women.
Yes, and I think that's what happened to me. I started researching menopause at 45, just in the brinks, just in the entree of menopause, the beginnings, and it gave me the tools to a different mindset, a different way of looking at it as an opportunity to become more authentic and set boundaries and how I'm going to move forward in my life. Because after menopause, you've got a whole another 30 years, if not more.
I certainly believe I'll have a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing some calculations.
Yeah.
So one of the reasons I thought it was really important to speak with you is because this show is all about hearing the voices that are unheard and unseen. And often when women get into that age and they're expecting, society tells them that this is a decline, they're kind of shoved into the background. And so I think it's important for us to just become more aware. Not so much as women, because we know it, but we need everyone else to understand that women I'm trying to find the right words to say to describe us as wise women of a certain age in our more mature age.
Yeah. So what happens, I think, with women, right? When you're menstruating, you're giving your blood out and your energy out to the universe. Like with children, you're nurturing businesses, you're building a home, you're giving. And then what happens in menopause, you retain your sacred blood. All of a sudden, you cannot self-sacrifice anymore. You have to start speaking your truth and setting boundaries, because you get to a point in your life where your body starts to speak to you and communicate to you louder and louder. And when people start crossing your boundaries, or you start crossing your boundaries with exhaustion, your body is going to come out and scream to you in hot flushes, in fatigue, in brain fog, in sleepless nights. So it's like Dr. Christiane Northrup says, it's the mother of all wake-up calls.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah.
It's time for you to go out there and do what it is that you're meant to do in the world.
Yes, and speak your truth. Because a lot of our truths and behaviors we've adopted from our mothers, our grandmothers, and through our bloodline, through
Yes.
generations. So before, you might not been able to speak your truth because you were told to self-sacrifice yourself for everybody else, your children, your husband, your job, your career. At menopause, you cannot self-sacrifice any longer. As Jane Hardrick Collins says in the book, the veil of estrogen comes upon you when you have your first bleed. And in menopause, the veil of estrogen self-sacrifice lifts and you can't do it anymore.
So let's, on that note, take a quick chocolate break and have a look at our sponsors for this show. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
When I hit perimenopause, all I heard was doom and decline until I took a sacred pause and I went searching for women who are radiant after menopause, like Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Vandana Shiva, and the late Dr. Gladys McGarry, still shining at 103. In this book, I share their stories and wisdom and the magic that menopause truly holds. Seven Wonders of Menopause is a sacred reminder. You're not ending, you're returning. Available at independent bookshops in Australia and Amazon around the world.
Did you know that only 30% of speakers are women and that only 13% of panels feature women? In order to change that, there is now a directory at womenspeakers.com.au where you can go and search for a speaker. We also have groups on Facebook and LinkedIn under the name Australian Women Speakers, where you can just go and post about your event and women will respond.
Shavita, why do you think society benefits from keeping us quiet?
Oh, because there's lots of money to be made. If you think about the cage of aging and the beauty industry, there is billions of dollars made profits from a woman's insecurity. And when we look at putting our own happiness out in the outside world, in things, in beauty, in your external self, it's like this never-ending treadmill of seeking outside of yourself. And there's profits to be made on it, of course. So once you start knowing that and realizing that, and you start looking inside yourself for your own happiness, it can free you from the cage of aging because there is big money to be made on it. There's massive industries built on the insecurity of women about their age.
So apart from profit, because this has been going on for centuries,
Yeah.
what else is there? I think you have
Oh,
some
there's the wisdom
Yeah.
because a post-menopausal woman cannot self-sacrifice, has to speak her truth, and they're visionaries because what happens in women after menopause, there's these two magic hormones that no one talks about. It's follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, and these two hormones peak at ovulation when a woman's out in the world looking for her mate to have children with, to reproduce. And they peak at ovulation and they go back down after ovulation. But what happens in menopause, these two magic hormones stay elevated. So a woman is visionary, she's more intuitive after menopause. And that happens for the rest of your life. So you can't sort of pull the wool over a postmenopausal woman's eyes, and she won't be able to, she can see through your lies, intentions.
Yes, and I just think back to some women that I have known, but sadly they've all passed now. But say 10, 15 years ago, I would go to a women's retreat and there'd be these elderly women, and they would just be letting loose. So they were hilarious. They were being in their full selves because a bunch were with a group of women and they just let go. And you go, I want to be like that. I want to be that woman who's vibrant and alive my whole life.
And it's an energy. When you're comfortable with yourself and you know who you are, you're free. You're not going to look outside of yourself. You're not going to look at your appearance as much. I mean, of course, it's good to take care of yourself, but that's not what your value relies on. Your value relies on who you are as a person. how you love yourself, how you set boundaries so people don't take advantage of you, you know? You stand as a whole woman, I think. After menopause, you're just free to just be you, finally. After decades of keeping your mouth shut, self-sacrificing, accommodating, bringing up your children, doing everything for everybody else. And suddenly menopause comes and says, no more. It's all about going to be about me now, my time.
So historically, this has been people have been silencing us women. And I know you talk a bit about it being not just in the human form. I'd love for you to share that.
What do you mean, not just in the human form?
It's not just the humans who go through menopause.
Oh, whales do too, yes. So there's 5 species on Earth that goes through menopause. 4 of them are whales and 1 is human. And in the whales, the grandmother whale takes the herd, the pods of whales through migrations, through oceans. They know where the food is, where safety is. So in the human species, I believe that women are the elders, they're the visionaries, and in many cultures, in Japan, it's just considered part of nature, and your respect as a woman grows. In India, a menopausal woman is considered the elder, the teacher role, and in indigenous cultures, it's always the wisdom keeper is the woman, the post-menopausal woman. So there is a lot of profits to be made on making women believe that after menopause is decline as well. Do you know what I mean? It's our insecurities. They don't want women to rise because a couple of 100 years ago, most of the witches that were burnt, 9 million women in Europe, most of them were burnt and drowned and rocked or whatever that happened to them, because most of them were post-menopausal women, and they were the wisdom keepers, and they knew things that younger generations didn't know, how to use natural herbs to heal you. They were visionaries. They were the people, the midwives.
Yeah, so
and that memory still lives in our bodies when we fear speaking our truth.
Yeah. So we're the ones who can speak out and change the world.
Yes, we are. We are here to initiate that.
Absolutely. I think it's well and truly time. So
And
what
then
is something most powerful from, say, one of the ladies you spoke to? Give me one thing that's the most powerful from one of them.
Well, all of them had so many amazing things. But what I learned from Dr. Christiane Northrup and Jane Hardrick Collins, all of them, your body is speaking to you in a way that the mind can't articulate. So there's no difference between your body and your mind. And when we start to listen to our body in stillness, we're able to get the messages. Like a hot flush is that we need to burn away a belief system that doesn't serve us anymore. Waking up in the middle of the night, our intuition is trying to speak to us. Like when I wrote my book, it was in the middle of the night that I got a message saying, you've got to write a book, and you've got to write a book about menopause, because I've been researching it for 10 years. And when that message came up, my intuition, I decided to say yes.
Yeah.
It's the little whispers.
Yeah, it's interesting looking at symptoms in that way and just saying, well, what is my body trying to tell me?
Yeah.
Beyond the physical sense, what is it that I need to be doing? What is it that it's telling me that, okay, is there a shift that I need to make?
Yeah. And when your throat seizes up, it's like you want to speak your truth, but you're unable to. Because to have difficult conversation takes courage. And usually when you're self-sacrificing, it's people around you, close to your family, your children, your husband. And when you start speaking your truth, it's going to inconvenience a lot of people around you because they were benefiting from your self-sacrificing.
Yes. They will.
Yeah, and they're going to think, oh, you're not going to do this for us anymore? No, I'm not.
Well, let's have a quick break and see what our sponsor. Have a look at what sponsors are helping to make this show happen.
Introducing 123 Read to Me. We give books to children who don't have books so they can succeed. Help us give away books to supported playgroups, kindergartens, schools, community events. Come and sort books. Donate money. $5 equals one book in the hand of a child. Because just one book a day creates clever, kind and confident kids. 123 Read to Me. If this interests you, let's talk.
You've ticked the boxes: career, commitments, calendar that's more packed than your pantry, but something's still missing. In Compassionate Purpose, Andrea Putting invites you to stop chasing busy and start living with intention. This book is about real fulfillment through small acts of compassion, purpose-driven service, and meaning that last. No pressure, no perfection, just purpose with heart. Compassionate Purpose, Discovering a Life of Fulfillment. Search for Andrea Putting on Amazon. Shavita, what do you think women are being called into? The women who have been going through menopause, who have, we've done all the mum things, we've done everything that we're supposed to do, and now we're suddenly, what now? What do you think this stage is leading us into?
Well, look, when we grow up, when we first have our first bleed, we get programmed into a way of thinking, a way of being, a way of self-sacrificing. So a clue to who you're becoming into is if you go back to yourself before you had your first menstrual cycle, before the world told you who to be, that is a clue as to who you're meant to be as a woman. It's the childish, the freeness when you act from trust instead of fear. Because we are born to believe that we should fear the world around us, keep our voices silent, just stay small to keep other people comfortable. And we don't allow ourselves to be in our greatness. And it takes courage.
It does take courage. And while you're saying that, I'm just visualizing my granddaughter who's 4 and thinking about, at the moment, she's so vibrant and alive, and she speaks her mind, and she speaks and speaks and speaks. But she has these amazing stories to share and to tell. And I just take the thought of, well, she's going to school next year. Will they be silenced a bit to fit in, or will they be encouraged to be?
Yes, well, where you see our logic brain comes in. There's logic, what is we've been taught, and then there's intuition, which is from our gut, our womb space, and our hearts. And so schooling, I think, teaches us logic to remember. Intuition is a feeling. And I think once we tap into our feelings, that's more in alignment, more authentic to your true self.
Yes. And how do you... I'm interested because you've got 2 girls.
Yeah.
And how do you explain to them? What are you teaching them about their voice and being in the world?
See, when my daughters, before they had their first menstrual cycle, I kept reminding them, remember who you are now. Because one day in the future, you're going to return to this young woman, the free young woman, the one that hasn't been programmed in a world of how to be and what to be. Because we are. Television, media, social media, school systems tells us how to be as a woman.
Yes.
And then suddenly we start shrinking ourselves and try to fit in. And then when menopause comes, all of a sudden you're free of that. You can just finally be yourself. Because you're exhausted of being somebody else.
It's like we're being trained by society to how we should be and what we should be doing, rather than
Yes, we're
looking
production,
after-
of course. If women stopped, the world would collapse.
It would.
It would. If we stopped for 24 hours, the world will stand still.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
I actually read something about a story the other day about a woman in Libya who had arranged a sit down by women, and all the women in the country just said, "We're not doing anything. We're just going to sit here until you stop war."
Yeah. And then it would stop. If women stop, because we do a lot of work, we are rewarded for our exhaustion. And menopause comes that I don't want to be rewarded anymore. I don't want your validation of my existence. I'm going to be validated for just sitting still and resting. And that's one of the best things a woman can do, is rest your nervous system, because a rested nervous system is more in tune with your intuition.
Yes.
And you're not in fight or flight mode. When you're in fight or flight mode, you make decisions from that fear. When your body's relaxed, you can make decisions from space, from truth, from trust.
And self-care is something that we, as women, don't do. It's not until we get something happen to us, often until we have some kind of crisis, that we go, hang on a minute, I need to stop and take care of myself. I need to put this into my schedule, that I need some me time.
And that's menopause, that time when it comes and knocks us down with symptoms. It's your body saying, you can't behave the way you have and abandon yourself in that way anymore. You have to stop, because the symptoms are going to get louder and louder until you take note.
Yes.
So that's the messages from your body.
So if a woman feels invisible right now, what advice would you have for her?
I would say go into nature, have some stillness, and ask yourself the question, why do you feel invisible? What are you putting your worth outside of yourself? Because nothing outside of yourself, no money, no career, no person, no love, no looks, is going to fill the void you have within you. Until you start falling in love with yourself at your rawest form. And no one can take that away once you get there.
So they certainly can't. I think it's a really important message is for us to really stand in our strength, to really listen to who we are, and to also make that, so that we can make that difference in the world, the difference that we are called to be and do and to experience in the world.
And when you love yourself, you become the mirror of your outside world.
Yes.
So if you love yourself, the outside world will reflect that back to you. But there's a bit of a time lapse. You got to trust the process.
Yes.
And the negative people and things will just drop away, because you will not attract that in your field anymore, because it's not going to serve you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So every week we do a Brew the Change challenge. So this week, the challenge is to do something that's simple and powerful. They're always simple and always powerful. So find a woman who is a mature woman, and say maybe your mother, aunt, a neighbor, a mentor, and ask her one question. What do you know that you wish you had known earlier? And then listen without interrupting, without fixing, without minimizing. Just listen. Because when we start to listen to women at this stage of life, we begin to change the story, not just for them, but for the generations that are to come. And I think that's really important. So, Shavita, I'd love for you to share how people can get hold of your book and get in touch with you.
Oh, go to my website, shavitakotak.com, or social media, Womb Wisdom with Shavita.
And thank you so much, Shavita, for being on the show today. I've really enjoyed having a conversation with you. As always, very enlightening and ready to make a difference. So until next time, have your cuppa, have a chocolate, and don't forget, always let love be the loudest voice.